All right, we're going to go over your test review that we worked through in class. So number one, Betsy wants to save $9,000 for a trip she wants to take this summer. She currently has $420 in her bank account. Betsy earns $130 per day working. Write an equation she can use to determine the number of days D she needs to work to reach her goal of $9,000. So this time we're writing an equation, so that means we have equals, and our total is 9,000. So we want to figure out what can equal up to 9,000. And so it says she currently has 420, so that's what we're going to start with. And then she earns $130 per day, and D is the number of days. So plus 130D. And that's your equation. Number two, Mindy is saving money to buy a flat panel television. The model she wants sells for $1,400. She already has $75 saved and plans to save an additional $50 each week. Write an inequality to represent the number of weeks W it will take Mindy to save at least $1,400. So this time we're writing an inequality. At least is our key word. At least means greater than or equal to the total. So that means everything over here has to add up and be greater than what we're trying to save for. So she already has $75, and then she's adding 50 each week, and W is the number of weeks. So plus 50W. Number three, we're just solving it, so we're going to draw our brick wall and box in the variable term. So we want to get rid of what's next to the box by doing the inverse, so minus 30 on both sides. Negative 8x is less than negative 16. And then we're going to divide both sides by negative 8. And the rule says when you divide by a negative, you flip the inequality sign. So x is greater than positive 2. Number 4. Brick wall. We're going to use distributive property and multiply that 3 by the x to get 3x, and 3 by the 7 to get a positive 21 is less than 12. And then we're going to box in our variable and get rid of what's next to the variable by doing the inverse. So minus 21 on both sides. That creates the 0 pair to get rid of this. So 3x is less than negative 9. And we're going to divide both sides by 3. And this time we're dividing by a positive number. So the number in front of x, the coefficient of x is positive, so we do not change the sign. So x is less than negative 3. So that's the difference between 3 and 4. If the coefficient of x is negative, you flip the inequality. If the coefficient of x is positive, you keep it the same. Number 5, solve for W. Brick wall. What's happening here is that everything is being multiplied, and the inverse of multiplying is dividing. So we're going to divide away what we're not solving for. So we're going to divide away the L and the H. And none of these are like terms. So volume divided by length times height equals the width. And that's the final answer. Number 6. More two-step equations. Box in the variable. Get rid of what's next to it by doing the inverse to create a 0 pair. So a negative 23, you add 23 to both sides. That gives you a 0 here. I have 17x equals negative 136. And then we divide both sides by 17 to get x by itself, and that gives me negative 8. Number 7, Mrs. Malin rented a car on Tuesday at a rate of $34 plus 12 cents per mile driven. Her bill for Tuesday was $52 for rental and mileage charges. How many miles did Mrs. Malin drive on Tuesday? So she drove and she paid $34 plus 12 cents per mile. So I'm going to use M equals number of miles equals $52. So we're going to solve it. Break a wall, box in your variable term, subtract 34 to create a zero pair. 0.12 m equals 18. Divide both sides by 0.12, and m equals 150. So she drove for 150 miles. All right, number 8. Ronnie has $40 to spend on a gift for his girlfriend. He would like to buy cookies that cost $2.75 each, plus a teddy bear that costs $13. Write and solve an inequality. So if I'm talking about an inequality, I don't want to use an equal sign. I want to use less than or greater than or something like that. And if you only have $40, then that means you cannot spend more than $40, so less than or equal to $40. Now what's going to add up to that $40? $2.75 for cookies plus $13 for a teddy bear. So we want to figure out how many cookies he could buy. I don't think that was very clearly written in this problem, so I apologize. But the cookies are $2.75, so that's where my variable will go. So brick wall, box in your variable, minus 13 to get a zero pair right here. So 275x is less than or equal to 27. Divide by 275 on both sides. And x is less than or equal to, the sign stays the same because we divided by a positive, less than or equal to 9.8. Now, you might want to round that up to 10, but don't do that. Because if I have 10 cookies, I will not have enough money for all 10 cookies. So Ronnie can buy 9 cookies or less. If I were to round it up to 10, 275 times 10, and then you add 13, 275, it gives me 40.5. So $40.50, and I do not have enough money for that. Number 9. Brick wall, we have variables on both sides. You can move the variable to the left or you can move the variable to the right. On this one, I'm going to move the variable to the left, so minus 8x on both sides. This way we keep everything positive. That gives me 6x minus 6 equals 7. Box in the variable, add 6 to both sides. So 6x equals 13. And we're going to divide both sides by 6. Now, if you type 13 divided by 6 in your calculator, you will not get anything other than what you typed in. So my answer is 13 over 6, which is D. All right, let's move to the back. Number 10, 2 lawn care companies are competing for a landscaping contract. Company A charges $175 monthly consulting fee plus $16 per square foot of landscaping. Company B charges a $70 monthly consulting fee plus $24 per square foot of landscaping. For how many square feet of landscaping, X, so there's our variable, how many square feet, X, will the two companies charge the same amount in 1 month? We're just going to write an equation. So we want to know, when will company A equal company B? So everything for company A is 175 plus 16 per square foot, because X is square feet, and so that is where your variable goes. So I have 175 plus 16x equals company B charges $70 for the month plus 24 per square foot. So 70 plus 24x. Number 11, Ethan is buying lunch. He buys C corn dogs at 39 cents each and 1 burrito for $1.79. How many corn dogs can he buy if he has $8? Write and solve an inequality, and then write a complete sentence to interpret your answer. So C is for corn dogs, and they're 39 cents each. Plus, he buys a burrito for $1.79. And if he only has $8, then we have to spend less than or equal to $8. So we're going to solve this. Brick wall, box in your variable, minus 179 on both sides. And we get 39 cents for each corn dog is less than or equal to 6.21. And then we divide both sides by 0.39. So C is less than or equal to 15.9. So for this one, since we're less than, we would say Ethan can buy 15 corn dogs or less. Okay, so we don't want to use our rounding rules. We want to look at the inequality to decide if we should round up or round down. So since it's less than, we would not have enough money for 16, similar to the one on the front. Okay, number 12 is a very long equation, and I know that we can use distributive property and then combine like terms and simplify, but we purposely left answer choices because I want you to learn how to use your answer choices. At the very beginning of solving equations, we practice checking our answer by plugging the answer in for x. So I rewrote the equation 3 times, and every time I saw an x, I left parentheses. And what goes in those parentheses is the answer choice. So for letter A, I would put a 6 in both places. Letter B, I would put a 2 in both places. And letter C, I would put 30 in both places. And then this is what it looks like when you plug it into the calculator. So you plug it all in and you replace you put those parentheses with the 6, and then I put the 2, and then I put the 30. And which one says true is your answer. So here's A, B, and C, and this tells me that the answer is C, because that's the one that is true. So sometimes we want you to use test-taking strategies and use your calculator. Number 13, Jane is comparing the prices of 2 rival cleaning companies to clean the carpets and clean the floors in her house. Freeze Carpets charges $30 for the house call plus $15 per room. There's your multiply word. And Barry's Cleaning charges $25 for the house call plus $11 per room. There's your multiply word. Jane wants to know how many rooms she must get cleaned so that Freeze Carpets is more expensive than Barry's Cleaning. So we're going to write an inequality. freeze was 30 plus 15x. And we want to know when freeze will be more expensive, so greater than berry, which was 25 plus 11x. So it's just about writing out your inequality, and sometimes writing it in words and then writing the algebraic underneath is a good way to do it. 2 more. 14. Sam has 200 gallons of water in his swimming pool and is filling it up at a rate of 30 gallons per minute. So this is Sam, 200. He's filling it up, which means we're going to add 30 gallons per minute. Fred's swimming pool has 760 gallons of water and he is draining it, which means he's taking it away 40 gallons per minute. How many minutes, M is minutes, will it take for their pools to have the same amount of water? So we want to know, when will Sam equal Fred? And I color coded, so Sam is 200 plus 30 gallons per minute. When will that equal Fred? And Fred is 760 minus 40M. So we're going to solve it brick wall. We can move the variable to either side, but I want to keep it positive, so I'm going to add 40M to both sides. 200 plus 70M equals 760. The box in my variable, now that I only have one variable, minus 200. 70M equals 560. Divide by 70. So M equals 8. So what does that mean? Well, remember, M is the number of minutes. So they will have the same amount of water in the pool in 8 minutes. That's very important. All right, and the last one. Blake and his friend Joe both collect stamps. Blake has 15 stamps and Joe has 55 stamps. The boys joined different stamp collecting clubs. Blake's club will send him 30 new stamps per month. There's your multiply word. Joe's club will send him 22 new stamps per month. There's your multiply word. After how many months X will Blake and Joe have the same number of stamps? And really, we could write an equation for this, but the problem here is, what does a variable X represent in this problem? Remember, I told you it's always in that last sentence, which is the actual question. How many months X? So X equals number of months.